Mr. Yap Zhi Chau, fondly known as Chau, is the chairman of YYC Group, a startup investor and a true blue entrepreneur. He has successfully transformed a traditional accounting firm, YYC, to be one of the top 10 in Malaysia, serving more than 20,000 clients across the region. With an 800-strong team, YYC is determined to positively impact 100 million lives around Southeast Asia. YYC have won multiple awards such as 2 times Golden Eagle Award and the BrandLaureate SME Best Brand Award 2018. Under Chau's vision, YYC have attracted equity investments from OCBC in 2019 and industry first as never before, a bank invests in an accounting firm. Chau currently sits on the board of ST Group Food Industry Holdings, a listed company in Singapore. He has investment in Newswave, a news aggregator startup, and BossBole, a company secretarial startup. Chau's journey has been fascinating and nothing short of a miracle. Let us put our hands together to welcome Chau, the SME's whisperer.
Hey, Joshua.
Hi, Chau.
Hey, nice to see you today.
Great.
Yeah.
So, how has you been doing?
Good. Of course, things can be better. This whole MCO thing is driving everyone crazy. But now that we are in phase 3, phase 4, and all, I think it's opening up. We just have to learn how to live with this virus, or it's an endemic approach. So I think that's important. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What have you been keeping busy nowadays?
With my business, of course, with YYC most of the time. Building the business, growing the business. Because when you manage or lead a business, you face a lot of challenges every day. So yeah, most of the time is spending on how to improve the company. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I first hear about your story, I understand that you took over your business from your dad, right?
Yeah.
Do you mind to share how did you do the transition from your dad to you?
Yeah. So YYC is a family business, and it was so now. Okay, of course, me and my sister, now it's a brother and sister team. We started in 1974 by my dad and my mom. So they are the co-founders, husband and wife team. They started in 1974. And to tell a bit about my dad's story, he went to New Zealand to study. So my dad grew up in a very poor family. Why was he able to go to New Zealand? He was always telling us, when young, he has no money to buy shoes, go barefooted, and no 1 year only can eat chicken during Chinese New Year, that kind of story. And he went through the really poor times. So how did he get this opportunity to go to New Zealand to study is because his eldest brother went into business, selling ice cream at the time, and made some money. And that gave him an opportunity because the brother said, okay, why not I give you the first year the university fees and some living expenses. And after that, you can live on your own, work and study at the same time. Then that's how he got an opportunity to go New Zealand to study. I think that time was cheap to go New Zealand. It's not as expensive in terms of education. And there he met my mom, studied accountancy, and got and finished. Of course, my mom is from Brunei, so if he didn't go to New Zealand, then they wouldn't have met. So he had the opportunity to finish his study accountancy, came back, worked a few years, and then set up his own accounting practice. So that's why all along we believe that, of course, he is successful. He whatever that he has dreamed of, having his own car, Mercedes, buying his own bungalow, and of course, getting a wife, so beautiful wife. He always tells us that this is his greatest achievement in life. So he can have all this success and achievement because his eldest brother or a successful businessman or businessman who made some money are able to give him that opportunity because of the money that he made. And therefore, we in YYC, we really believe that in order to impact the society or impact more people, it's important that the businessman can be successful and make some money, right? Because it will go a long way if they use the money well, the profit that they make from their business to help their surroundings, their family, their friends, and it will give such a huge impact a positive impact to the lives around them. So that's why we in YYC we have this big, hairy, audacious goal to say that we want to positively impact 100 million lives, and we want to do that through helping entrepreneurs, through empowering entrepreneurial success with their success, and then they can impact other lives that is within their circle or within their network. So that's a bit about the history of YYC or my dad and my mom. Of course, me, my sister came in to the firm in year 2000. I came in year 2002, I think, almost year 2002. So we were, I started off as a audit associate. I think yourself as well, right?
Yeah.
You started off as an audit associate. Shin went to other firms, Big Four, to work for 2 years, 3 years before she came in. I came back straight to the firm. Reason being also at the time, I think my dad wanted me to faster come back to the business so that I can also get my CPA, my qualification. The time I haven't found, you can say I was still very playful. Maybe now also. Playful in the sense that, I didn't do well in my uni. So I needed, my dad scared I couldn't finish my CPA qualification. So I came back to the firm, started working and got my CPA within a year so that I can concentrate and focus. But that's how we started. That's how we started. Mm-hmm. The first few years was like really getting to know each other, me and my sister and my dad, in terms of how we work together. During the time, we were still exploring each other. Actually, at that time, we didn't know much because my dad, his style is he works hard, he serves his clients well, but he is, in a way, it's like traditional Chinese SMEs, entrepreneurs. They don't think so much about whether the philosophy and how they teach their second generation is that I do, you watch how I do lah. Mm-hmm. That's the approach. But what we find is that everyone is different. It's very different. So even though I'm my dad's son, but we are so different in personality that sometimes he doesn't get why I am this way. Then I will probably don't get why he is that way. And Shin my sister is also another person. So everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses and personality lah. So it took us like really at least 5 to 7 years to really get to know ourselves better. We read a lot, but luckily we read a lot lah. We read a lot. We go for a lot of training, the development, growing ourselves. And then we realized that each one of us has different strengths and weaknesses and all. And slowly we got to gel and work as a team, especially me and my sis. Mm-hmm. Then officially you can say maybe in 2012 we sort of like take over all the major decision making already since 2012. And yeah, I mean, then my dad, you can say probably 2014, 2015, like has really stepped down and from making from the business, stepping down from the business, and we have since taken over or transitioned to us leading the company now.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about because many of the SME, they're also family run. Right? Then subsequently they transit, like what you mentioned just now. How did the transition happen? Is it do you have some sort of ceremony and say that now I'm taking over the business, or it's just a gradual thing?
Actually, it was just a gradual thing. It was just a gradual thing. We didn't plan for any. Actually, we didn't plan for any transition. If you ask us, we always joke that we just sort of wear my dad down. That he's so tired of the business already that he say, you all just take it and run your own way something like that . So we didn't really plan for the transition. So for us, it's kind of gradual, because if we really plan for the transition, I don't know whether my dad would have planned the transition this way or not. Because again, he's just built differently. My dad is really good at what he does, audit, tax, advising clients and all. But if you ask whether he would be able to plan his own transition and like do strategic planning for the company and set the direction, set the vision and mission and all, I'm not sure whether he's able to do that if we leave it to him to do that. That's not his fault, right? Because he didn't know better, or he wasn't reading or learning what is needed for the second phase. He has success, and for him, I think that success, everyone is very proud, and he himself is very proud of whatever success that he has already achieved, given what the resources and what he knows at the time and from his upbringing. But sometimes to go to the next level, or to transition to go to the next level, then you need new thoughts, new learning, new strategies, but it's new mindset. And I'm not sure my dad at the time would have been ready.
Okay.
So me and Shin, we were fortunate enough that he just passed it on like that to us. You can say we are grateful and fortunate that he has built a strong base for us, and then we took it on from there.
Okay.
There's because when you ask me whether there's a ceremony, it reminds me of this funny thing that we did. My brother-in-law, actually, my Shin's husband, did a mock check, for my dad, saying that mock check is to buy over the firm without paying anything, actually. That was just a joke. But my dad didn't find it humorous.
Different generation.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that you and Shin were trying to take over the management and learning how to the skill set. How do you iron out the initial getting used to each other? And because I'm sure as siblings, sometimes you have siblings rivalry, right? Then how do you get used to working with each other? What are the processes that you all use to understand each other better?
So right from the start, just now as I say, we didn't really know much better. So what we can do is only just learn from reading, and of course attending courses and training and all. And my dad, normally first generation they don't focus on this, right? They say, hey, you must follow what I do, not knowing that their strength and they're just very different kind of people. So at the start, my dad was very operational. So he wanted me to follow, like very operational. But for me, I'm just wired differently. I'm more strategic. I'm thinking. I did a lot of personality tests and all. I'm a thinker. So I like to think, I like to read, I like to connect things. But executing might not be my best or my strength. Doing things operation is not my strength. Whereas my sister is more like my dad. She's a good student. She's like those straight A students. So she's really good at operation or executing things and doing the work. She's very disciplined on that. So imagine like you have one operational, one like really marketing strategic brain, and one is more taking action kind of personality. In a family relationship, and you can imagine, and all of us are very strong-willed type of people. So you can imagine all the quarrels that we get into, the fights that we get into. It's quite drama for a few years. It was quite dramatic for a few years. So we have to learn. So again, it's a gradual process where we really learn about ourselves and each other, and to play to each other's strength.
I think I heard from you before that there were a time where you managed to find a mentor to guide both of you, right? You and Shin, and he helps you to identify what's your strength and weakness.
So in the business, my sister mentor would be, of course, my dad and another my dad's partner. He came in 1979, Mr. Yo. So technically, we were mentored by them, right? And operationally, in terms of in business, actually we can say that our mentor will be all the books that we read, and also we took up different. We went to different, like we took up strategic planning courses. We went to learn from different people, like Tony Robbins as well, and so you can say we don't, in that sense, in business sense, we don't have like a fixed mentor, but it's more like keep on learning from different successful entrepreneurs or people who have different insights in growing yourself and growing company. So that was what we were going through during that building phase.
Okay. Yeah. So I can see that you use a lot of words about the books, right? So books have such a big impact on you. Any particular book that stand out to you and that you can recommend? So for me, I like to read a lot of biographies. I find it very interesting reading about how people are successful and how they are like, and you can also see a lot of these successful people successful in terms of doing business, bringing their company to a different level and growing or scaling. Personally, they have a lot of because when we see that they're so successful, we always think that they're just different from us, and maybe some are really talented and different from us, right? But many of those also, they would have their challenges. They face the same challenges as we do. They have the same weaknesses as we do. They also have strengths that we do. So reading all these biographies just give me a sense of this that actually everyone, if you want to be successful, you have to go through certain things. And it gives me inspiration and the strength and energy to continue on my pursuit in my own business. So for example, reading one particular book that I find it very interesting is the Nike's book, written by the founder Phil Knight. Yep.
I find it very interesting because like his story is like so from also starting as a distributor for Onitsuka Tiger shoes to building his own brand Nike and all, and what he went through. That's fascinating, like how he succeeded in the end. I remember especially, he said like his team is like his team is of his core team that built Nike. He called it a bunch of misfits, right? So that relates to what I think sometimes also, like us and because when you're growing a company, when you're small, you feel like sometimes you feel like, oh, can we do it? Are we? We may be imposters, right? You are competing with different people and all, but but looking at Nike, they can be so successful even though they think that they are a bunch of misfits as well. So I think in the end, if you want to build a successful company or you want to build a great company, it's not only you need to have like great people, but great people that fits into your culture, that loves your business, that have the passion. In the end, I think all these people were successful because they didn't give up. I think.
It's the grit of the entrepreneur, right?
Not this grit as in grit, right?
Yeah, grit.
I was thinking the grit, the grit, the persistence, the determination. Because when you say grit, that grit, my news founder also said that, grit to him, that he had that line. They just didn't give up. That had that determination and grit to pull through.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that you mentioned bringing a group of misfit, so I think it's very fascinating also, like how do you find these misfits and also how do you know they can fit into together?
Yeah. Okay, if for my own company, I would say it's through trial and error. It's through trial and error. We have made many good hires. We have also made many bad hires, right? So, because dealing with people is just there's no like fixed formula. Like people is just so, it's not a machine or formula or code, A plus B equals C. In people, it's just changing all the time. So I think for us, finding the right type of people, I think sometimes it's really true. Sometimes it's good fortune and luck, right? To get the right people. And I believe in business, you do need luck, you do need good fortune. And in people, well, I as you grew older, you sort of treat this kind of subject differently as well when it comes to people. Starting time, like when I came into business, I'm not a natural people person, right? So when you're not a natural people person, then you would have that when you start to work, how you treat your people, your staff, your teammates and all. It's true learning again, like do you treat them really as sincerely as someone that you want to work together and grow together, or you treat them as just a tool? I think it depends. So it depends on the methodology or the philosophical mind of the leader who's leading the team. But in the end, I think to what we have to do is always to find the right people in the right seat. The right people in the sense that we have to play to each other's strengths and play them in the position that they're really good at. And then, of course, they need to have the right attitude and the right values. If they are in sync with the leader or the leadership team or with the company, and they are also good at the same time, very talented in an area, then of course those are people that we want to get more. And also we believe in this thing that although it's in practice it's not easy like what we call the missionaries versus the mercenaries. Missionaries who will even if they are not paid much, they will still be very committed to the cause. Whereas the other end of the spectrum is they only look for money, and if you don't pay them, then they'll leave, right? So we want more missionaries than mercenaries.
So you need to build a cult or a church.
Yeah, in a way, yes. Because what we find over the years is, if we just hire people who are good but only thinks about money or motivated by money, then it's not sustainable in the long term. They are not here for the long term as well. Yeah. You won't be able to build a great company with that sort of culture or mindset. We want to reward our people well, but we also want to reward or want our people to be missionaries or be excited and be motivated by the cause or the mission that we have and purpose that we have. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point about missionary. I think if you want to hire a group of good missionary, of course the company itself needs to have a great mission and vision, right? So one of the key questions that people always have is, how do I know my vision is the right one? Am I pointing to the right direction? And how do we get the kind of confidence to, okay, this is the road that I want to choose? Because as a successful person like yourself, opportunities are constantly flowing to you, right? So how do you know, okay, I will cut down 90% of it, I focus on this one vision?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say that again it's true. Again, trial and error, through experience, like what worked, what didn't work. Then from every failure, then sort of you know what you shouldn't do next time lah. After you fail a few times in the same thing, also you will know what not to do in the future. So I think is whether you have the right mission or purpose or direction, whatever you call that. First, I definitely would recommend everyone to always read. You know, the more you read, then the more you have things to process, and the more you can think and connect, right? So reading is a must to train your brain. It's like exercising your brain muscles. Read and think. That's important for all leaders. All leaders. Then whether sometimes it's also, then after this, then you sort of have an intuition in terms of like whether the things that you set, the purpose that you set, you know, or the direction that you take and all, whether it goes in peace with what you in your heart. So that leader has to know it themselves. You can say it's their gut feeling or intuition or whatever it calls, but it has to be peaceful, whatever that they make, you know, in that sense. So
okay. Yes. Okay, so I think the recurring theme is going back to the reading and learning. So do you have some sort of rhythm or habit when it comes to reading? Do you set certain time in a day?
So for me, I'm not a truly disciplined person. Like, meaning, what I mean by that is that if it's say every day 9 to 10, I will do reading. You know, I'm not that type of person. But I'm someone where every day I will spend time to read, whether it's at night before I sleep or in the middle of the day. You know, but it's already a habit lah. So every day I must do some reading. If not, then I'll feel like something is missing. Just like people who has that habit of going to run or exercise. You know, if one day they don't do exercise, the next day they will feel like awful, and you know, it's just programmed this way that they have to go exercise. So in a way, I have programmed that in my habit. I have made it a habit to read. If I don't read like for 1 or 2 days, I will definitely feel like
something is missing.
Something is missing. Feel like shit actually. In that sense, I feel awful. And I will definitely go and read on something so that I can get inspiration or ideas to solve whatever problems that I have daily. So because in running a business, you will have problems daily. So you need to get new ideas or new inspiration to find solutions. So I have built that habit already. As compared to like last time when I was younger, you know, I do more. I watch more TVs and programs and stuff. So what I find now is that when you watch TV or series and all, somehow it's like your brain is not active, or because you don't really need to think. So I get like the feeling that I will get more stupid if I keep on watching TV and all. So I will limit myself. So daily during working days, I don't watch TVs and stuff. Yeah. So so that's how I sort of program myself in my daily or reading habits.
Beyond just reading, where do you get all this source of inspiration and knowledge?
I like to read. I'd like to listen to podcasts.
Okay.
Podcast is one source. There's 2 particular podcasts that I read that I listen to. One is How I Built This. You know, talks about all the entrepreneur stories, success stories, and all. Another is Master of Scale from this Reed Reid Hoffman, right?
Yeah.
Reid Hoffman, yeah. Yeah, that is more on the tech startup businesses and all. So I get a lot of inspirations and hearing other people, what they go through, what they went through, all their stories. Yeah. So I would normally listen to it when I'm doing some exercise, walking. And like my favorite exercise is to just walk. I like walking and listening to podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I share the same habit also because I felt inspired when I listened to some point. Then you get that aha moment, right? It's like, then you're woken up to a new knowledge and wisdom.
That's right. It's sort of like stimulates your brain, right? When you and of course when you are able to listen to one part or read one part that connects, then it's like everything is, like you found the answer to your problems.
Yeah. So true.
You can say that because I've treated so business is my hobby in a way, you can say. So I like, of course you need to chill out also sometimes, right? So maybe I'll make time to meet up with some friends or but the team that we have built in YYC, the people working inside is also not only my teammates, but we are also friends, and in a way we enjoy working together and doing the things that we do now. So yeah, I think finding a balance, I think, is still. But I like during MCO time, I do find that I have a bit more time doing exercise. So I would say that if I were to arrange my time better, I think now I still have more time in work, and maybe the balance is off a bit, if you ask me. If I can, then of course I would love to have more exercise time daily, to again clear up the mind and to think to have a healthy mind and body.
Yeah.
If you would say that.
Yeah, I think just like the saying that says, if you love your work, you won't be working a single day, right? I think that's what you embodies now.
Yeah.
Just that you are now looking for a balance in terms of your health and your career success.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. For me, because I like the startup process, the new business, seeing how it grow. I may not be a good, not yet, be a good person who, how we call it, to follow through. I think I'm still learning on this, because some people they are very good at starting something and letting it grow to a certain stage. But you need different skills to grow this stage to another stage. So I think I'm still, this is ongoing training and development that I need to put on if I want to grow even further, right? My YC to another stage and level. But my natural state or passion is to start something. Yeah.
Okay.
I like to start new things. So that's what I get excited about. So that's why that's why I like.
But isn't it creating something also have a lot of uncertainty, right? A lot of fear and the unknown, right?
Yeah.
How do you balance that between your passion and also all this managing the uncertainty part of things?
I think that's just me. I think some people they don't like the uncertainty, whereas I like the uncertainty. So that's why I like to start things. Whereas someone they don't like to start things, but they are better suited for a stable kind of environment. Because on that, that's why a lot of times when we hire people from bigger companies to come in, they couldn't fit into our culture, even though they are very good, but they can't fit into our culture. Why? Because YC is always growing and changing. When you're smaller, your structure tends to be very fluid, and you need to react, or you need to react to the market faster, right? You need to when the right opportunity comes, you need to take action. So we are always positioning ourselves to take those opportunities, and so that we can scale faster and all. It's always it's changing. So for people who are used to in a stable kind of environment, they wouldn't be they wouldn't fit in. They wouldn't be able to adapt to our kind of culture or our kind of environment. And through thinking, I think it makes sense, right? Because all the big companies, they went through this startup phase before when they were younger. I'm quite sure when they were younger, they needed to be very agile and adapt to the environment.
Yep.
Whereas when you're a stable company, then everything is really planned out for you. You don't have to worry that much. That's why it's very systematic. So that's why the difference in the growth stage and whether the people can fit in and adapt, that's what we are always looking at. Yeah.
So personality, I guess, play a very important role in terms of different joining company of different phases.
Yeah, the personality as well as whether they are ready they have the mindset to adapt or not. It would be the same if these people went out to start their own business. It will be very chaotic as well, right?
True.
It's very hard that they can bring the system that is working in a big company to a small company or to a company that they start. Because it's just when the company is at a different phase, you just have to work and act differently. Yeah.
So how can you advise people who want to start their business, right? What kind of mindset they should embody, or certain codes they should live by in order to go through this uncertainty, the fear of starting something?
For anyone who wants to start their own business, I would say, first you have to really understand yourself. Understand yourself, realize, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and are you ready to really put in the hard work and sacrifices that is needed, that are needed in building up a business or being an entrepreneur. I think 80% of the people who start a business doesn't really know what is required. The effort that is required, not only money, right? Not only money, but the pain that you go through, the mental toughness, whether you have that, and whether you are willing to put in the required work. So what I find with a lot of entrepreneurs and people, young people, old people, or even SME bosses and all, a lot of them, sometimes they have very high dreams or big dreams, big goals. They want to achieve this, to be the biggest, largest, strongest, number one, and whatever. The very high goals. But what they are willing to put in or are currently putting in, the effort and sacrifices and all, is only at this level. So you have this dream, but they are only putting in this level of effort and sacrifices and all. And then they wonder, hey, how come I'm not achieving this, right? They will be saying, hey, how come I'm not achieving this? They have a lot of excuses, they have a lot of reasons, they blame this, blame that, complain and all. Whether they are entrepreneurs or whether they are working. But they don't realize, they set such a high goal, but you only willing to put this. One is whether you have the talent to actually achieve this. First, be realistic. Do you have a talent to achieve this? Second is, even if you have talent, are you willing to put in all the work and sacrifices? Are you willing to put in the hard work that you have to read at least 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, right? Work 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. That kind of mentality, that kind of mindset. Then they will tell you they want work-life balance, right? They will tell you want work-life balance. And work-life balance don't have this dream. Just put a work-life balance dream. Then whatever that you put in is, correlates with whatever that you want to achieve.
Yep.
Then you're happy. This is what I see. That a lot of people has this illusion or disillusion or illusion that I can achieve this, but I only want to put in this, and it's never going to happen. Of all the successful people that I've read in books and all, I've never seen one of them that say work-life balance 9 to 5. I can be successful. None. I also want. Who don't want that?
True.
Who wants that? Unless you are just born in a rich family, then yes, you're lucky, you're fortunate, then it's different. But if you want to build something great, then I'm sorry, the only way is to put in sacrifices, effort. Of course, not to only work hard, but at the same time, you need to work smart. Work smart meaning you need to read more, learn more, know yourself, know others, and be realistic with yourself. I know that you also follow Ray Dalio's quotes and all. He also said you have to be. He's a hyper realist, meaning be very realistic about himself. But that doesn't mean that don't have big dreams. Have big dreams, but be realistic of yourself, where you are. Then only you can know what you need to do and how you can achieve whatever dreams that you have.
Yeah. I think one of the amazing concepts that Ray Dalio suggested is what he implemented in Bridgewater. It's about the radical transparency, right? So it's among colleagues, they are very open to criticize and accept feedback. But I think even more important is to be radically transparent with yourself.
Correct.
Right? To admit our own weakness and also acknowledge our strength, right? Sometimes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's very important. If everyone can start with that, I think that would be a win already. I can't say that in Asian countries or in Asian companies, will we be able to really have that radical truth and transparency? I'm not sure. Of course, we hope to achieve that, right? It's not easy to give feedback to each other, especially on the negative things. It's easy to praise people. Or sometimes maybe they say it's not easy to praise people as well, right? But anyway, if we can really start to be realistic ourselves, to have that self-reflection and knowing what we are good at and what we really suck at, and be able to tell people that and be vulnerable about that, I think that would already give a lot of companies or a lot of organizations a big advantage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any quotes that you live by? Anything during the tough period in your business journey, right? Any quotes that come to your mind that help you to overcome those challenges and fear?
There's this quote that I really like from John Maxwell. He says, everything rises and falls on leadership. I think that's really true. Because the leader is the captain of the ship. He needs to know where the ship is going, and he needs to rally the team, the soldiers, and the people to go to that direction, right? If the leadership is weak, then the organization will be weak. And of course, if the leadership is strong and has a vision, then of course the organization will be strong. So I truly believe that statement. We can go back to not only business, countries and all. If it's led by a strong leader, the country will do well as well, right? Throughout history, just like Lee Kuan Yew, how he led Singapore to where they are today. So everything rises and falls on leadership.
Yeah, if that's the case, then how do you define a good leadership?
I would say good leadership is someone where, to me, I think is that he will know where he's going, or he will find his way, even if he doesn't know always where he needs to go, right? But a leader needs to be humble enough, or he has the humility to learn from mistakes, to say what I don't know, and to learn from others. A leader who knows it all will most likely lead their team to disaster, right? Because they don't learn anything. If the leader who knows it all, he won't spend his time to learn new things or to ask people's advice and all. So I think a leader needs to needs to be strong, in the sense that he needs to be strong in making his decision. Needs to be strong will in taking their people towards the direction and the vision that he has. That's important. But at the same time, he also has to be humble, have the humility to learn. Not to know it all, to learn, keep on learning, and getting advice from others. And then only he can form a better judgment or decision.
Yeah, I think in the age of technologies and new invention, I think it just matter of things changes exponentially faster and faster in the future. I think that's the reason why learning, there was a saying that says we need to learn, unlearn and relearn. Right. Even the things that we know, we need to do this process and subsequently adapt to the new environment because of that. So I think that fits well into your concept about leadership, right? It's humility, it's about learning.
It's an ongoing learning. I think I also heard this in Master of Skill, I don't know what they call that already, but someone who keeps on learning. That every time you keep on learning that, and I think he was referring Shopify founder as that type of person that keeps on learning. So I think every CEO or leader needs to have that mindset that there's no graduation day. Not like in uni time you have graduation day, right? In business, in life, is continuous learning until you go to meet your creator.
Great, yeah. So before I ask you the last question, where can we find you? Normally, where do you communicate? In which platforms?
You can find me on where do I communicate? On my Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm not really super active on that in terms of posting stuff. Sometimes I do. So I'm still I'm an introverted person still. But you can look for me on my Facebook as well as LinkedIn profile.
Sure. Yeah. So what's the legacy you want to leave for this world?
That's a good question. I think if you ask me, when I started off, I've maybe from young, my interest in business is natural. I don't know why. Naturally, I have this ambition to build a big business. But maybe the time is more for selfish reasons, like having more money, buy fast cars, have many girlfriends. Just joking. But for selfish reasons, for personal selfish ambition. But as I took on the leadership position in YYC, after taking the position from my dad, after a few years that changed. Like the first few years, I was still driven by personal ambition and personal glory, personal, just money lah. But that has somewhat changed because of quite a few people incidents. It's always people, right? And somehow it just made me realize that I sort of I decided that no, I'm in this not for the money. The money will come in your business. It's a byproduct of what you do right, building a strong team and all. So now, for me, it's really that I want to grow with my team. The team that is with us, that has sacrificed, that are so that have sacrificed for the company and so loyal to us and all. And I want a team to be successful together, and achieve our purpose or vision together. So really is to be successful with the YYC team. That is what I can think of now, if you ask me. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your sharing. I think we have gone through the amazing journey of how you learn and be successful. And I keep seeing the recurring theme about learning and reading, right? So thank you so much for sharing. Hope to see you again in a future session.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Trisha. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. See you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.